Hi, I'm David Selinger. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Deep Sentinel, and today I'm going to be walking you through the installation of your Deep Sentinel system. This setup process takes about 30 minutes, and in general, you're going to be better off if you happen to have a power drill, a step ladder, and if at all possible, the extra hands from a buddy or friend of yours that wants to help out here. The first step in setting up the Deep Sentinel system is to open the box. And as soon as you do that, you're going to be greeted by the bright red Deep Sentinel yard sign. You're also going to see 3 cards that introduce you to the Deep Sentinel system, how it works and what the pieces are. And then underneath that is where the fun starts. We've got our 3 cameras here, and this is the 3 camera starter kit. Got the Deep Sentinel hub, which has the AI processor in it. 2 important boxes right here. One is labeled install, the other is labeled connect. These have components for the installation. And then you'll be greeted by the quick start guide. The quick start guide, if you so choose, you can pause this video and just follow the steps on the quick start guide and get going. The combination of the step-by-step here as well as the app are enough to get you installed. The most important thing in the quick start guide here is that it has a reminder that you need to start any installation of Deep Sentinel by downloading the Deep Sentinel app, either from the Apple App Store or from the Google Play Store. This app has step-by-step instructions in it as well that can help us walk through the installation. So that's where we're going to go right now. Once you download the Deep Sentinel app, go ahead and tap on it, and we're going to register to get started. So we tap right here on the word register, and we enter in our information. The next step is you have to confirm your email address. Go ahead and look into your inbox to get a confirmation email from Deep Sentinel that asks you to confirm that this is in fact your email address. If you don't see it after about 30 seconds, please make sure to check your spam or junk email folder in case it ended up there on accident. Now we're going to go ahead and log in and enter our key information. This includes your home address, and it's always a good idea to include a secondary contact in case you're unreachable in the event of an emergency. Of course, you can always add additional contacts, such as your spouse or partner, which we also highly recommend. The next step in the app brings you to the most exciting part of the Deep Sentinel setup, where you start actually getting the hardware and getting it hooked up. The first thing we're going to set up is the Deep Sentinel hub, which is the brains of the Deep Sentinel system. It has both the AI processor and our wireless connectivity in it. So it's really important that you select the right location for this. It has to be able to connect to your home Wi-Fi system, whether that's your router from your cable company or if you happen to have a separate router system. It has to be able to connect to that, but it also has to be able to reach all the different parts of your home. So selecting that location is critical because it has to be able to communicate with each of the cameras. It also cannot be behind a device such as a refrigerator, a television, or a microwave because those devices interfere in the wireless communication with the hub. When you take the hub out of the box, the first thing you're going to notice is that there are a number of electrical connectors in the back. These line up with the exact cables that are inside your Connect box. The Connect box has first a power cable, which we're going to hook up into the hub, and an Ethernet cable. This Ethernet data cable connects the hub with your cable router system. When you have the green flashing light, that means that your hub is communicating with Deep Sentinel and updating its software. Once that's complete, you're going to see a solid green light on your hub, and you're going to see a screen on your app that says success, move on to the next step. The next thing we do is we take the spare battery out of our Connect box. Remember, you always get a spare battery with Deep Sentinel, and your hub is your charging system. So we've already removed the lid for the Deep Sentinel system. We put the battery in with the prong side down, and you're going to see the LED blink 3 times to tell you that it's charging. 1, 2, 3. Once you're done setting up the hub, it's time for us to do the camera, and we're done with the Connect box. So we can move on to setting up our first camera. Go ahead and grab that first camera out of the box, remove the plastic cover from the front of it, and then grab the battery and do the same with the protective foam donut. Click Add a Camera in the app, and it's going to walk you through step-by-step instructions how to put the battery into the camera. You open up the back of the camera battery compartment by slightly twisting counterclockwise and pulling the lid backwards. Next, you slide the battery in with the golden connectors pointed inward. When the battery's all the way in, you'll be able to put the lid back on and twist it about a quarter of a turn. And you're going to notice that the two dots now no longer align on the side of the camera. Punch next in the app, and it's time to connect the camera to the hub. You're going to notice the hub is flashing white. So when you push the button on the camera, it's also going to flash white and tell you that it's pairing.
Camera connected.
When the pairing is successful, the camera is going to tell you that it's connected successfully, and the app is going to move on to the next step that tells you that it's been a success. You've now successfully paired your camera to your Deep Sentinel system. It's time to go outside and start your installation. Now that you've got your camera connected, it's time to think about where are you going to place that camera and the other cameras around your home. The obvious place that we start as a rule of thumb is the front door. And we want to make sure that we protect that from anyone coming in or out of the home, knocking on the door to see if anybody's around. You're going to want to take your other cameras, if you've got a 3-pack, certainly one in the back door, and then probably one on the driveway or a side entrance. Let's go ahead and get started with this front door. Here we are at the front door, and I want to talk about 3 key rules of thumb that we have at Deep Sentinel when we place the cameras somewhere like the front door. And these rules apply in the other locations as well, but we're going to talk about them here. And you'll even see that I've already got the camera installed above me. In fact, the red ring is spinning, which means as we shoot this right now, there is a guard watching us back in our central station, making sure that we're safe while we're shooting this video. The 3 key rules of thumb are that we want to make sure that we're aware that these are motion detection cameras. And motion detection cameras are better when an object moves across the field of view than when someone's approaching directly. So you don't want to place the camera right over the center of the door. You want to place it to the side. In fact, if this were not a recessed front door, I would want to have the camera off to the side a little bit more even to be able to capture the motion as somebody approaches the front door. But worst case scenario, you put it off and to the side. The second rule of thumb that you'll see here again is that the camera is about 6 to 8 feet up and it's pointed at a slight 15 to 20 degree downward angle. This ensures that the camera is not quite reachable, but it's able to get a good view of the field of view. The third rule of thumb is that field of view. And that's that we got to make sure that we capture as much of the approach leading up to the entrance, which is either a door or window, obviously, and that we get the actual door itself inside of the field of view of this camera. You want to make sure that you manage all those things so you're not over-triggering the camera, as well as you're capturing the key information so when the guards are watching somebody come up to your home, they're able to get there as early as possible and have as much time to intervene as possible. So those same 3 rules apply to a place like here in the driveway. Again, we've got the camera about 6 to 8 feet up, pointed slightly down at a 15 to 20 degree angle. It's pointed so that it can capture any motion of somebody coming in and out of the driveway, and that captures it laterally. And inside the field of view is the actual garage door itself here. Here in the backyard, you're going to see something similar. Again, camera's about 6 to 8 feet up, pointed about 15 to 20 degrees down. It's able to capture people approaching the sliding glass door and captures the sliding glass door itself. So you'll see these 3 rules of thumb apply in really every location. Now that we know the approximate area where we want to locate each of the cameras, we got to check one final thing in the exact location where we want to place the camera, and that's the strength of the signal between that camera and the hub. Once you've found your approximate locations of where you want to place the camera, the final step is to verify the signal strength before you drill any holes. To do that, all you have to do is hold the camera in approximately the location where you want it to be, wait about 15 seconds, and then look on your app on the Verify Signal Strength screen. As long as the screen states that you have a fair signal or better, then you're in pretty good shape. Now, everything you need to install the Deep Sentinel cameras is in this box labeled Install. I'm going to go ahead and open that up and walk you through the contents. When you open up the install box, the first thing you're going to see are window clings you can use to let folks know that you've got the Deep Sentinel security system. So in this secondary box here, you've also got a masonry drill bit and mounting hardware, which includes 3 screws and 3 anchors. When we open that up, we can take out the masonry drill bit. This works on both sheetrock and masonry, like concrete or brick. and then 3 self-drilling screws for wood, and then the anchors that you'll need either for sheetrock or for masonry. Now, the next thing you're going to see in the box here is 3 mounting brackets. These are really cool. Got a camera right here, and the camera, you'll see, slips right on to that mounting clip, and you'll hear that light clicking sound. I'll do that one more time. When the camera connects to the mounting bracket. To remove the mount from the clip, you'll notice that there's a small button on one side of the mount. It's not on both sides, it's just on one side of the mount on the ring of the camera. Simply depress that with your thumb and the camera becomes disconnected. Slide it back in, hear the click, and it's connected. So if you're mounting the camera on a horizontal wall, you can mount it like this and then tilt it down. If you're mounting it from the eaves, now that's not going to work as well. So what you've got here that's neat that a lot of people don't realize is that ring on the outside of the camera actually rotates. So you can mount the camera like this. You can actually mount it directly off of a ceiling in a similar way. And this mounting bracket has also on it a fixed pressure ball mount, which means that as you move the camera around, you do not have to tighten anything. It holds itself in place at any angle. In fact, we've been through hurricanes and tornadoes, and this thing holds in place pretty darn well. So to actually connect the mount to your home, we've put a lot of time and energy into engineering this. One of the neat things you're going to see about this mount is that it only has a single screw hole in it, and that the actual mounting bracket itself slides up and slides down. To install the mounting bracket, take the screw, insert it through that one little hole there, take your screwdriver, in this case a power tool, place the mounting bracket where you'd like it, and simply screw it into place. To attach the camera, slide the mounting bracket down, take your camera, align it with the mounting clip, and slide the camera back until you hear a click. To install in masonry, take your masonry bit and remove it from the protective pouch. Slide it into your drill. Tighten it in the drill. Identify the correct location. Drill a hole either in your sheetrock or your masonry. Take the anchor that's included in the kit, slip it in the hole here. You should not need a hammer, but in the case that you're doing it in concrete or masonry, you may. Then just like in the installation in wood, you will take the screw, slip it into that hole in the mounting bracket, but this time put the screw right up against the hole in the anchor. Get your screwdriver, line it up with the hole, and screw it in. Just like wood, you shut the mounting bracket, and you're able to connect the camera to the mounting bracket in exactly the same way. Now that you have installed your mount in the location you want it to, and you've clipped the camera onto the mount, it's time to verify the very final step for each camera, which is the protection zone. There are a couple of things you want to keep in mind as you set this protection zone. The first is at the very top, you have a reduced motion sensitivity area. That's because the motion detection for the camera does not include that area with as much sensitivity, so we don't want to guarantee to you, our customers, that we can protect that as closely. If you want to protect an area and it is in that purple band, you can reach back up there and adjust the angle of the camera one more time. The second thing is that you don't want to include any high volume areas in this, like a sidewalk in front of your home or in a public street. We do not protect public areas as a part of Deep Sentinel service. The third thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you do collect all that area both in front of and including the door. So I wouldn't want to move the zone to not include the door like this. I want to ensure that I include both the door and the area leading up to it. The final step in the Deep Sentinel camera setup is the most exciting, and that's because you get to see Deep Sentinel in action. You see this request for response symbol, which I'm going to do right in front of this camera right here. And the request for response symbol allows you to speak to a guard live at the end of your setup process.
Hello, this is Deep Sentinel Security confirming your request for a response.
Hey there, I'm just testing and setting up my system. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You have a nice day.
And like I said, that's my favorite thing because again, within about 25, 30 minutes of buying your Deep Sentinel system, you get to see exactly what it is that makes Deep Sentinel so much different than any other camera system out there. Whenever that red ring is spinning, it means that there's a live guard watching and protecting you, your family, and your home. So take your Deep Sentinel sign outside, stick it in the ground, and let everybody know that this is not a house to be messed with.